Hello and welcome to my attempt at voice acting Arches, the visual novel by the Echo Project. I'm actually recording this after I already recorded the whole main game. Uh, when I tried to do the Cameron short story at the beginning, it just wasn't working. So I'm coming back and doing that again, and I figured I'll put this at the beginning because it makes more chronological sense. So, without further ado, I hope I did this all justice. I don't know why I start that. Whatever. Anyway, first time I saw something serious was on the day I turned 8. My mom had bought me this old handheld and a few games to go with it. Even though it was a generation out of date and all my friends had the newer version, I was still happy to have it. It was cool to just own something. I was alone. Mom let me stay home from school that day as part of my birthday present. I was on this little sofa, sort of slouched down as far as I could go, practically laying on my back on the seat cushion with my head propped up against it. I was playing this game that I can't even remember, just staring at the display. And I saw this weird reflection on the plastic screen. Easy to see because it didn't actually light up like the new model did. Anyway, there's this reflection of something really tall and dark in the corner next to me. All I can think is that Mom somehow hung up one of her long jackets or dresses on the floor lamp we have there. But that doesn't make sense, so I look up and to the right, and then I saw it. A face staring down at me. Two yellow eyes with slit pupils, no muzzle, face flat, and the edges of its mouth curled up in a grin. Its teeth were long and sharp, all of them. I don't remember seeing ears. I don't think it had any. Just know that it wasn't a person. It was a thing, a creature. The yellow eyes were standing out from the black matted fur that covered its face. I could only see the edges of its mouth because it had on it what I think was a raincoat or something. There's this big collar that was turned up and covered the lower half of its face. It was tall. Its shoulders and the back of its head and neck were up against the ceiling, so it was looking straight down at me. The rest of its body was pushed back into that corner next to the sofa, its arms out to the side and pressed to the walls like he's bracing himself. What I think were long black claws stuck out from the openings at the ends of the sleeves, dug into the walls. And for the few seconds I stared up at it, it didn't move at all, not even a little bit. Kind of like it was stuck in a still frame. It's weird to see something that you know shouldn't exist. Like, there's this extra moment where your brain absorbs what it's seeing. Then instead of making you react right away, like maybe seeing a spider would, there's this extra beat where the brain is really analyzing it. Like, yep, this is really happening, and it really shouldn't be, but here it is. It's hard to remember what exactly happened next. I just sort of ran, or at least scrambled on all fours trying to get the hell out of there. I didn't hear anything, didn't feel him move, and I was too scared to look back. I was tumbling out onto the wet grass because it was cloudy and drizzling like always, and onto the little paved walkway that wound its way through the trailer park. I was just running up that walkway, getting as far away from the thing I didn't understand as I could. Kind of fucks me up to this day, even worse than when I first saw it. is that when I was a good 3 trailers away, I looked back, not really expecting to see anything, but I did. There, framed in the little window of our trailer, was the flat-faced creature, still with the same expression, the color still up, looking frozen in time. The blinds, which had always been bent and askew, were moving though, gently swaying behind its head as it grinned right at me with those yellow eyes. I just sat at the entrance of the park, shivering in the rain. After a moment, one of the neighbors rushed out of her trailer to check up on me. I told her that I was fine, but wasn't able to tell her why she saw me running out of my trailer, or why I couldn't go back to my trailer. So she brought me into hers instead. I guess she thought that maybe someone broke in and scared me, because then the cops were there, then my mom was there, and I think she got into some trouble for leaving me alone. When the cops left, I got in big trouble, but I was just happy to have people around. Of course, I couldn't tell them what happened, because it couldn't have happened. But it did. Then it happened again, and again, and again. They can't touch you. They can't hurt you. At least not in a physical way. Mentally, it's a different story, which makes sense because all of this is mental. I was messed up way before the thing I saw in my trailer, which might explain why I saw it. But it was me continuing to see it that traumatized me. I never knew when I was going to go home to an empty trailer or a trailer with a raincoat monster inside. Eventually, I was able to realize that it didn't really notice me, I guess. The first time it definitely wanted to make its presence known to me. These days, it just kind of pops up every now and then, and it's really just a cardboard cutout of a spooky character from a horror movie. Yeah, it's still startling when it's at the foot of your bed at 2 a.m., but you learn to live with it. Soon, the cardboard raincoat monster with claws became a man who would walk around our kitchen. He was angry, cursing, throwing stuff around, but I was okay with all of it because he never noticed me. I couldn't say the same about the next thing, though. And that was another flat-faced creature. But this one moved around on all fours, with its elbows and legs at an angle like a spider. He would crawl onto my bed, over my face, but whisper things at me. That's when it really became hard, and things finally broke down after the first time I tried ketamine. For most of my teenage years, I was a weed and opioid kind of guy. Not like heroin or anything, but a pill every now and then to go with the weed so I could really chill. My friend, well, he loves stuff that was a bit more intense, stuff that really made you feel something, or nothing at all, which is what he promised me before I took it. You'll feel nothing but calm. And then, while I was sitting in my friend's living room, a bear broke through the window. He had on a ski mask and he had a gun, and I screamed and I ran and I called 911. And of course, it wasn't real. I was so out of it, actually, that I thought I was watching someone else do all of that. I'm not friends with that guy anymore, but it was a turning point for me. I knew drugs made these hallucinations worse. I knew that the longer I stayed in one place, the more they appeared. And I knew they weren't real. I knew because why was there a creature with foot-long claws and a raincoat that stood 10 feet tall? Well, I'm gonna bet such a thing never existed in that trailer. I'm gonna bet nothing like it ever existed at all. I created it, and it follows me, and I ignore it, even though it's starting to get weirdly insistent. October 2019. You alright, babe? Dev somehow already has his shirt off. A little eager, huh? I don't answer the question as I slide my shirt over my head, and immediately Dev's paws go to feeling out my sides. He's a little buzzed, so I don't think this is really going anywhere. We just wanted to get away from the party. We wandered around the little forest next to the house. Dev was looking for orbs or something. It started raining, so we ran to the car and decided to wait for Jason to come out so we could leave. Hopefully soon, because this thing stands outside the window. It's aware of us. I don't like that, even to this day. Is there someone out there or something? Dev looks behind us, right at the creature. The chill runs down my back as he stares face to face with it. It's grinning at him with its sharp teeth and stooped over deeply because it's too tall. But, as usual, Devin doesn't react. That's because he's normal. Are you seeing things again, Cam? Just because you told me it stopped doesn't mean it might not come back. You'd really like that, wouldn't you? Nope, things are ghost free. Well, whatever you think they are you seeing things again? I sigh deeply. I mean, it never goes away. It's just better sometimes compared to other times. Dev rubs his bare arms, his big chest heaving, then shuddering as I run my paws up his pecs, squeezing them. I don't want to get you upset, but I close my eyes, waiting to be upset. He already knows I don't like him treating me like I'm some psychic. Just a stupid kid that sees horrible, useless things. But would you at least tell me if you see something that might be important to me? I blink, thinking, then realize what, or rather who, he's talking about. Oh, well, yeah, of course I would. It's just that I don't really see people. Just things, not good things. Dev has gone a bit quiet as I rub down his stomach, playing with the fur and the thick layers that come naturally to bears, something that I like. I feel weird doing this while waiting for our friend. I mean, it's our car, but we're both 25 and acting like it just can't wait. We gotta do this before we go home. Usually Dev just liked to be intimate like this, where he can just feel me, but he only grunts as I tentatively open his fly. He doesn't stop me, so I keep going. Well, I was supposed to visit Echo today, but Larry had some problems or whatever, so now we're at this shitty party, and it's gonna be months before I have a chance again. I shrug, wanting to keep the conversation light. I've seen worse. Parties, I mean. And next time, I'm not bringing Larry. It's just gonna be me and whoever else wants to go. I nod for him to go on. Dev sighs in a frustrated way that has his chest expanding against me again. He pulls my paws together from his crotch and he holds me, just pressing our bodies together. Obviously, I want you to go, but I don't want you to feel like some kind of tool or something I'm just using. I think it could be a good experience for all of us. I stare back at him. Didn't like 10 people die or something? Well, not that, but how things will change if we see something. And what does that mean? That There's something more. There's somewhere to go after we die. I think hard, trying to choose my words carefully. But how do we know that? Seeing something doesn't really mean anything. I've learned that over time. Just. Dev sighs, not really annoyed, just tired. Probably having a hard time thinking straight on the alcohol. I just need your help for a few days. I want to know. I need to know where she is. Nowhere. She's dead, so she's nowhere. I'm sorry. I don't want to do this. It's such a bad idea, but this is important for Dev. It always has been. So now that he's finally asking me to go, I can only say, of course. He grins and lets out a breath, like he's relieved. I had no idea he was this tense about it, though I guess my reactions to previous comments about the town told him I wasn't exactly a fan of going. But I can stand a few days of discomfort if Dev finds his answers, which I really, really hope he does. Thank you. No problem, man. I try not to jump, because just as I said that, for the first time in my life, I see Cardboard Creature move. Alright, this will be a little short video since that's all I wanted to do with that one. I guess if you're watching this one, enjoy the rest of the series if you feel like it. Let me know how it is. Okay, bye.